So here we go. Town have made their third summer signing, and it is Greg Leigh on a free transfer from Morecambe, signing a 2-year deal. I'm joined by good old Stuart Watson as we get our thoughts, share our reaction on this signing. Stu, the sexy stuff is here. You broke this story on Monday morning, and it was done Monday evening. Your thoughts overall on Greg Leigh signing for the club? A left back, left wing back. Your thoughts?
Well, the first thing I'll say is how good it is that Ipswich have managed to get 3 in the door come the first day of pre-season. Last summer was so chaotic, Paul Cook trying to completely rebuild the squad after his demolition job, and that meant Ipswich were still signing key players after the season had started, right up until the end of August, before we'd seen the likes of Selina, Morsey and Walton arrive. This feels a lot more planned and calmer this time around. We got the bulk of a squad in place that Kieran McKenna has worked hard on from January onwards and improved some individuals. And already on day one of pre-season, 3 players in the door in 3 positions that needed sorting out. Left side was clearly one of them. That was Ipswich's problem position, really, last season. So much emphasis on Wes Burns to produce from that right-hand side. And I can't remember the number we put on it in the end. I think it was 7 or 8 players that were tried in that left back / left wing back position. In the end, no one really nailed down that position. So now the onus will be on Greg Leigh to see if he can do that.
Yeah, and you did a fantastic profile piece online. Check it out on Greg Leigh's career so far. Jamaican international, of course. Started at Man City. What are your main sort of takeaways from doing that piece, and what sort of stands out as Greg Leigh as a player?
Well, I think much like Dominic Ball and Freddie Ladapo, this is a really pragmatic signing by Ipswich Town. You need certain types of players to get you out of this division, and it's all very well sort of players for the future and whatnot, but Ipswich 4th season now in League One need to get out of this division, and in all 3 of these new signings they've got players that know the division. Ladapo scored plenty of goals here. Dominic Ball has played at this level and higher, of course, and Greg Leigh has, I think, over 150 appearances at League One level for a variety of clubs: Crewe, Bradford, Bury, Morecambe last season. So he's got that League One experience. But what I like about his career is that he's not ever been afraid to put himself out of his comfort zone and test himself. That's a real theme of his interviews if you look through his career. Someone that's wanted to challenge himself and get himself outside of his comfort zone. I always like a player that's been prepared to go and play abroad. There's not many English players that have done that over the years. It's happening more and more, but he's gone over and had a spell in Holland. Okay, it didn't work out for him at NAC Raider, but he did it, and he's had a real few highs and lows in his career. He's had some injury setbacks, but he seems like a really good personality and character, which is a theme that's kind of run through this new ownership and under Mark Ashton. So I think he'll fit in off the pitch as well, and on the pitch. I know some people are going, well, he's been released by Morecambe, who finished in the bottom half of League One. Shouldn't we be setting our sights higher? I would remind people that Ipswich signed Wes Burns from Fleetwood, a Fleetwood side that had finished in the bottom half of the table. Wes Burns was 26 when Ipswich signed him. Greg Leigh's 27. Wes Burns was playing right back and has got converted into this sort of, attack-minded right wing back. Might McKenna be able to do the same with Greg Leigh? It sounds like he's a very attack-minded left back. He's strong, he's powerful, he's direct. He's played a lot of football in relegation fighting teams over the years, so I think he'll have honed his defensive work. Can they unlock something in him? Has Kieran McKenna seen something in his attacking attributes that he might be able to bring to the party? And as you mentioned at the start, he was schooled by Man City as a youngster, and so he's obviously got some technical proficiency about him to have started out at that sort of level. So I'm excited to see what McKenna can do with Greg.
Yeah, so another thing as well. We've got a very good coach in Kieran McKenna who can improve a lot of players. What was your main takeaways from, say, his interview? As I've been impressed now by all the signings so far. Freddie Ladapo's interview was fantastic. Dominic Ball as well, and also Greg Leigh is another great talker. And I think maybe that's another part of the recruitment is sort of bringing in really good characters and sort of players they feel will sort of go a good part of the dressing room.
Definitely. Yeah, I think Mark Ashton's talked a lot about players having to fit in with the community feel of the club, that having a bit of honesty and integrity and all these great core values about their character, as well as being good football players. Greg Leigh has done several interviews. There's a really nice podcast online that I've used some quotes from. Match Fit Football. Go and have a watch of that. I know you've spoken to someone who covers Morecambe regularly about Greg Leigh, and everyone is sort of saying what a good character is, and that shines through. I mean, he talks about having a bit of a low period during his time up at Aberdeen, which is becoming a bit of a running theme with Ipswich Town players. Wes Burns has talked about going up to Aberdeen and feeling a little bit lost at the time. Who else? There's I think Dominic Bull had a spell up at Aberdeen as well. So Greg Leigh went up there, and twice he got some bad injuries at Aberdeen. He got a stress fracture to his tibia, came back from that, went back to Aberdeen on a short-term contract, hamstring injury, ended his season there. And he talked about that being sort of a lonely place when you're far from home, when you're in a hotel, when you can't play, when you're not involved. And, he seems to be a very analytical mind, someone who is always thinking about, how can I better myself? How can I make sure I get fit again? How can I make sure I stay fit? Someone who really wants to better himself, and even at 27 has still got some big ambitions. So I think he's got, some good experience. He's of a good age at 27, but someone who is keen to show that his best is still to come. So yes, I think he's a very shrewd signing, hopefully, for Ipswich.
I think so too. And you took the words out of my mouth. 27, good age too. Very good age. He's not yet hit his prime, but I like this signing. I do indeed. Stu, going a bit off topic here. I hope you stay with me. I just want to quickly talk about the kits, because we haven't actually done your thoughts on it just yet. And this was the first time we saw a signing in the new kit. I know we had Wes Burns, Luke Wolfenden, and all the women's players in the kit launch. This is the first time we had a player holding up the new shirt. What's your thoughts? I'm going to give you this space now just to share your thoughts on it. And Greg Leigh looks good in it as well.
Yeah, it always looks better when you've got the signing holding the new shirt, isn't it? And then you're right, Greg's the first one that's been able to do that. I like the home shirt, Ross. I love the away one. I like the red and black vertical stripes. I think they're going to shift quite a few of both of these. I just love the fact that Umbro's going to be able to give Ipswich a bespoke design. Adidas served Ipswich fine, and I know there's history with Adidas at Ipswich Town, and it's a behemoth of a manufacturer. But Umbro's got real 90s vibes to me. Umbro's is those big baggy England training tops during the 90s, and obviously the laces on the Ipswich shirts of the 90s. I like the fact that the home shirt's got that little design with a nod to the parts of Portman Road and stuff. Two good kits, those.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the Town players. And of course, the training kits look great as well. The boys were back in pre-season training on Monday, and they looked fantastic. Stu, let's talk about the left side as a whole. This was always going to be a priority this summer to strengthen it. And it is understood there'll be further additions in that department, of course, with the likes of Dominic Thompson going back to Brentford, Bailey Clements, Mars Kenlock got released. Matt Penny was the only left-sided senior player option there until, of course, Greg Leigh came in. So it's going to be a position, and maybe talk about Matt Penny a little bit.
I think you might have just called him Dominic Thompson, which I like. Is that a spoonerism? Thompson came in and did fine, didn't he, on loan? But Ipswich probably, I think everyone thought that they might try and go down a different route. Clements has gone, Kenlock's gone. So yeah, Greg Leigh's in, and my understanding is that might not be the end of business on the left-hand side. Where that leaves Matt Penny, we shall see. I actually thought Penny, on his day, Matt Penny showed that he can be a good player. I think he's the best crosser of the ball at the football club, Matt Penny. Defensively, he could look a little bit flaky at times, wasn't quick enough to close down crosses, wasn't the best in the air at the back post. There was a few goals that were kind of conceded under his watch. But going forward, he can certainly whip a ball in. Greg Leigh, by all accounts, is probably a little bit of the opposite of Matt Penny. Strong, powerful, direct, good defensively, can get forward, but he's talked a lot about the crossing and the end product being the part of the game that he needs to work on. And you would imagine, with the greatest respect to the teams that he's played in at League One, at Ipswich, he's going to be getting a lot more of the ball in the final third, and he's going to have to deliver on that side of things. So we'll see how that pans out. He's versatile, Greg Leigh, whether he ends up being the classic kind of versatile squad player that can cover a few positions. He's played further forward as a left midfielder. He's played left of a back three, I believe, at times. He's filled in at right back. So he might just be a very useful player that can cover a number of positions, but he'll be arriving with the ambition to nail down a starting spot, and it's over to him now. He's in the door. He's going to be in at the start of pre-season, and he's got a chance to make sure he's in that starting team come the opening day.
I think so too. And still, I think we've covered all bases really on Greg Leigh. But any other business you want to add before we wrap up?
There's a few names that were interesting in his career throughout. Patrick Vieira, obviously Crystal Palace manager now, Arsenal legend, was his youth team coach at Manchester City, and he talks about the Frenchman's great influence on him in the early stages of his career and learning off people like Vincent Kompany and Julian Lescott, Mika Richards, people like that. So great schooling at Man City, and obviously a Jamaican international as well. And there is a link to a certain Usain Bolt in there. Greg qualifies to play for Jamaica through his father's side of the family. His uncle is a man called Warren Blake, who is an orthopedic surgeon who did a lot of work, very famous in Jamaica, did a lot of work with Usain Bolt and making sure he stayed fit throughout his career. So, when you know that there's some links to Usain Bolt and you hear the fact that he's fast and powerful and direct, that can't help but whet the appetite, and the thought of him bombing up that left-hand side with Wes Burns doing some damage on the other side. Fingers crossed that's how this one pans out.
Oh, hopefully, indeed. That is some great fun facts. Hopefully, all the listeners and viewers have enjoyed those fun facts. Usain Bolt and Patrick Vieira in the same sentence. Love that. Stu, thanks for joining me. I'm sure we'll be back for many more videos throughout the summer on new signings. Of course, we've got the first pre-season game this Saturday against Newmarket, so we shall see you there. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.